we've been talking. I mean, it's funny how every one of these discussions kind of keep tying back together in discipline and yeah. So I guess there isn't much on that one. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, yeah, you're just gonna have to just hook me off the stage because I'll just keep talking.
Go for it. No, please.
No, this is another one. So, when, for the record, you and I were training for an Ironman for this weekend, and I was doing the swims and the bikes, and 2 months ago, I don't remember, July maybe.
Somewhere around
Yeah. I sent you a note and basically said I gotta pull out of the Ironman. Like,
right.
I don't. With everything that was going on at the time, work, relationships, personal goals, I didn't have the energy to commit to learn. Really, I was learning the swim and the bike. I knew I could do the run, and I pulled away. And it was partly there was some relationship stuff that I was going through, and then work was really kind of blowing up.
Right.
And I am like. Being self-employed, I have very specific goals that I'm trying to accomplish with my work, and I'm super excited about it. And I knew that I just really needed to be able to focus on that. So when it comes to life balance, I mean, I think it's great to have goals. I think you have to prioritize them. You know what I mean? And I don't look at it as quitting. Although by strict definition, I quit. You know what I mean? But I do think that in order to do the stuff that we're trying to do, it's a continuous process of prioritization and I don't want to use the word compromise, but just balance to make sure that, you know, you're putting all the right energy into the right places. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that is gonna, if we keep doing what we're doing, that's gonna be a constant struggle. And there's gonna be times when I think you have to pull back in order to accomplish something else. You know what I mean? But again, it doesn't matter because as long as you're being intentional about the process of every one of those aspects. Like if I had just been like, I don't want to do the Ironman, I'm too busy, I got this work thing, and then I just kind of slacked off on the work thing.
Right.
You're not giving maximum effort to anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm sleeping good at night because I know that maybe some of my priorities are changing ranks, but I'm still putting in the same effort into those things. You know what I mean?
In your effort level going up, I mean, the training you did for the Ironman, to go from no triathlon to Ironman.
Right. That was a big jump.
And what our 100, this was your thing, 100-mile. Well, we ended up 100-mile running week. We did that. Olympic distance swim every day.
Yep.
And we did, what was it?
25 miles.
25 miles biking every day.
Yeah.
That's
for 7 days. That was a good week, and I felt good about that week.
That was the hardest
Right.
week of any of my training
Right.
the entire time. So
Right.
I mean, that you were overcoming so much. I mean,
Right.
you got to a level it's ridiculous.
Right.
So
I mean, I felt good about it, but I just knew that the Ironman was not as important to me as
Right.
a lot of these other things that I was doing.
Right.
I really love. I like ultras. I don't know if I can say I love them yet.
Yeah.
They're very hard.
I love hate.
And I knew that was a worthwhile challenge because I knew it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'll just go do a 50 and that's going to be easy. Like yesterday, I was the hardest run I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? And my body reflects it today. So I still put a challenge out there. You know what I mean? But I was able to do it because I just knew over 2 months that I had some critical work things I had to get through, and I knew I could get the run training in. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So you know, but priorities and maximum effort. You know what I mean? Like just don't do minimum effort. You know what I mean? Like on anything. If you're giving it minimum effort, then don't do it.
Right.
You know, like it's. And yeah, I don't know that anybody has a good answer on that one, and I don't know that anybody ever really kind of completely figures it out because, you know, unfortunately with this, you know, bully brain that I have, I'm always like, well, you know, I did sleep 6 hours last night and I could have slept 5. You know what I mean? I could have gotten up at 3 and gotten that in. So there's always more you can do, but I'm happy with what we're doing and what we've done.
But that comes to balance right there. That Yeah, so one of the things I've put on myself is like barometers. I don't want to miss out on time with my family.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a construction project I'm doing around the yard or whatever, yard work or things that need to be done around the house. If I'm going for a 20-mile run, I still need to get that stuff done.
Yeah.
I need to be in good enough shape
Right.
to be able to do that other work.
Yep.
And so like a balance thing I've been playing with, like sleep, like it's so we're trying to do these ridiculous distances, trying to do so I've been cutting back on sleep, and it's like, well, what point where 4 more, like an extra hour of sleep, there's obviously benefits to sleep,
Right.
there's a lot, but then I can't get my training in, and then am I grumpier or not? What, like, where's that balance? And everything, like the nutrition and the, like, I can be hard on my nutrition and really focused, but then I can like go and have a margarita with tea.
Right.
You
Right.
like find that balance in everything in life. It's something like you said. I don't think there's an answer to it, but being aware that you're trying to find balance,
Right.
and what your priorities are, like being with my kids and not missing their sports games or whatever. Like that's not an option.
Yeah.
And when they're in high school, they're needing less dad time.
Yep.
They want their alone time.
Yep.
You know, it's a
I'm
different
moving into that
dynamic.
window.
So it's a little easier for me to kind of find more me time.
Yep.
But there's wife time.
Yep.
And I enjoy that. I want that. And it's something that I think Dee's been struggling with for a while. Like going into this and thinking I'm going in a different direction from her. But like the love, like just. Like she saved my ass yesterday during that
Right.
race. Like
Right.
having the nutrition there
Yeah.
and being my partner in this journey, my support,
Yeah.
like is so big to me. And I feel nothing but like I feel more love,
Right. Right.
because of the stuff we're doing.
Yeah. I think you have a greater capacity to I mean, it's, if you love yourself, you can love others. You know what I mean? So when you're really giving your maximum effort and everything, you have more capacity to love other people. It doesn't always come through because
Right.
we're all human, you know what I
Right.
mean? But I think you have more capacity. And the other thing that didn't come up, which I wanted, one of my mantras is or the things that I focus on is taking joy in suffering. I mean, it's all throughout the Bible. It's very common in this ultra world that we live in. You really got to be able to find joy and peace in the suffering, and that's makes you superhuman. You know what I mean? Because once you are struggling, but you're still cheerful and joyful, which I still struggle with, but I'm working on it. That's the game changer. And like you were just saying, when you're dealing with life balance and you're trying to prioritize things, my old self would have just been grumpy about everything. Work stressful, kids are stressful, I didn't get my workout in, and I'm just grumpy, and I'm grumpy for a good reason because life is tough. But then everybody around you is just like, oh, he's just grumpy. You know what I mean? What's the point of that? You know what I mean? If you can give maximum effort, sleep good at night because you're putting it all in, prioritize properly, but then be thankful that you have this opportunity to take on this challenge and be joyful about it.
Life is a gift.
And then the time that you do spend with your kids is better.
Right.
Because you're not worrying about missing your workout or you're exhausted because you just did a workout. You're just like, yeah, this is part of the process. This is part of the suffering. This is exactly what I'm chasing. This is what I want to create. So I can be thankful for it, and then you have more capacity to help those other people. So, I mean, I think that's the thing about, like, I see people's life balance get out of control when they are just miserable with everything that they're doing.
Right.
They're not doing anything that makes them happy. If you can do it in a way where you're doing a lot, sure, you know what I mean, but you're joyful even when it's difficult, then your boss thinks, no, wow, Ben's in a really good mood, or I only had an hour with Dad, but it was a really good hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a huge difference. Yeah. You got to make that change because and that's a recent change for me. You know what I mean? So.